Alrighty, folks, as promised, this is the 24-hour follow-up to our video talking about why it is a horrible time to buy real estate, with the complete opposite side, and why it is now a genius time to buy. I do want to highlight Barbara Cochran. Hopefully I've said that correctly.
Corcoran, yep.
She's out, Corcoran, actually talking about why today is a great time to buy, so I will certainly be bringing that up. But all right, Matt, you were talking in video number 1, price crash, fraud, all these other things. How the hell could it be a great time to buy today? What do you got?
Well, this video is a lot easier than the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other one was tough. I'm like, all right, why would I not buy? Well,
yeah.
Here's why I am buying. I bought something last week, closed on it last week. And so here's why I'm still buying, is because there's all the chickens out there that aren't buying, and they're scared, and they don't know what to do. And it's because they haven't learned the skill.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, I'm still evaluating. It's really funny. We talk about it a lot, right? And you do an amazing job of looking at all the different reasons and facets of why you should or shouldn't. And it's about, give or take 15 hours a week of that, and exercising every different piece. And for me, I'm just too dumb. It's very simple for me. It is, I put money in, I get money out, and it's better than the return I get anywhere else. That's it. Yeah. That's the only thing I got. That's it. I'm getting 30-year fixed rate debt. In most cases, not in all. In some cases, I've taken 7-year debt, because I'm like, in 7 years, like, prepayment penalty will be 3. So I might have to pay a point to get out of it, and get into a much cheaper mortgage. But that's where I think the position that we're in is, you look at each and every deal because your market. There are markets now where deals don't work.
Absolutely.
I would not be forcing the issue and trying to do deals in those markets.
Yeah.
But there are plenty of deals that do work. And I don't need appreciation to justify doing the deal, because I got news for you. If you're betting on and banking on appreciation in the next 12 months, I'd love to know what market you're in.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anything is going to appreciate with high interest rates. I just don't. I think we're going to be largely flat or down. That's part of that correction. But I think that people need to be doing the work, like we talk about every single day, and looking at the numbers and looking at how that asset will cash flow. That's it.
Yeah. It's really funny when I think about this concept. I always try to put myself in a room full of people, and most people are not investors when you do that. And for most of them, you probably shouldn't buy, right? Because you don't do the work. You're not creative. You don't know all the strings to pull. You look at a Realtor or Redfin or Zillow and go, I have to pay list price. You and I all know the money's made when you buy. So we write disrespectful offers. We follow up. We pull on all the creativity we can to, have second position mortgages, seller carry, all of these things. That is why I keep telling people 2025 is going to be the year of the investor.
Yeah.
Most people are going to refuse to participate, and probably shouldn't. They haven't done the work. They're risking. They're betting on appreciation. All of these things. They're buying the house and dating the rate. I'm like, what kind of stupid nonsense is that? That's almost as bad as betting on appreciation.
Exactly.
However, if you are an investor, what do you want? I mean, like, when I think about 2025, what the hell do I want as an investor? I want less demand. Check. I want more supply. Check. I want more motivated sellers. Check. I only write amazing deals at cash flow day one with existing fixed rate debt. I am such a wacky individual. I don't give a shit if the debt's 10%. As long as it's 10% for everyone, I'll go ham, because most of you guys will just sit on the sidelines. So when I think about it being a great time to buy, it is only a great time to buy if you're willing to do the work. You're willing to go get on your knees and crawl through glass and write lots of offers and follow up, 17 times. But when you do that, deals of the decade turn up, and it's a good time.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly right. The challenge that we have is that everybody got the stupid money in 2020 and 2021. So a lot of businesses looked successful and they weren't. A lot of businesses felt successful and they weren't. A lot of people were reading their own press clippings and believing what they were believing about stuff. And you and I come from a world in the tech space, right? Where, like, how many like pets.coms and rooster.com and like all these CMGI, like CMGI had the naming. They had the naming rights to the Patriots Stadium. Their stock was at $192 a share. And then within a year, it was like 91 cents or something crazy.
Yeah, it's under $1. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you look at those markets, where did that come from? That came from exuberance without logic or fact. It came from feelings. Feelings will often betray you. And so I think where people need to be more grounded is in the evaluation of the deal, recognizing that if you wouldn't, I don't believe you would tell somebody if the market, because your buy box is a phenomenal method for how people should buy real estate. And so when they're looking at it and they say, well, my market average is 1% and I found a deal that's 2%. You're not telling them, yeah, buy that deal. You're telling them there's a million other options out there to get better money return on your money. So it's
Certainly
not,
today,
it's not damn the torpedoes and whatever it is. Like, it just needs to be better than market average. It needs to also be better than the average that you can attain somewhere else. You know, if you still have access to a savings account that's paying 4%, my rule would be you need to be at least at 6. If you're going to touch a deal, regardless of what the area average is, you got to be at least 6 just to justify the time.
Yeah, the thing that scares me about this time frame is, to your point, a lot of people got into bad habits the last couple of years because money was everywhere and profit was easy. And recessions, you know, we're gonna show who's swimming naked, right? I had that conversation with Brandon Turner, and he said 3 of the deals he's in, so he's the LP, not the GP in these. 2 of them are going to 0. Right. He thinks the other one's going 50% best case. So I think there's a lot of people that are going to be suffering some pain. But again, 2025, the market right now, it's so clear to me. Less demand, more supply, more motivated sellers. And that's an environment where investors thrive. And that is 2025. And that is why if you are doing the work, it's a great time. And let me be clear, you don't have to be an investor. You just have to have an investor mindset. If you're out there looking for your owner-occ home and you've been outbid for 3 years in a row, don't default to paying list price. Don't you dare do that. This isn't a market where days on market are going up every month. It's where inventory is 30% and going higher. If you are an owner-occ buyer and you've been trying to buy your forever home, you too should be writing offers and following up and doing disrespectful. This is the time where you could in theory get a 15, 20% discount.
That's right.
And be in a great position 2, 3, 4 years from now if rates fall. You got all that equity, and your payment's going to be going down. So again, I would just tell everybody, take advantage of 2025. 2025 is the year of the investor. It's the year where doing the work has the biggest return, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think what people should be looking up is look at counter-cyclical investing.
Yeah. Because
this is not in cycle. Everybody's been investing for the last few years. What's really, it's fun. I won't say it's fun for Mike because I don't want to speak for him. It's fun for me and I enjoy it. And I'm also saddened by it. Is that there are going to be a lot of people that are going to get wiped out because they were idiots and they thought that they were better than they were.
Bad deals. You know, a lot of these deals were bad the day they were done. It just takes time to recognize it. And the amount of pain and losses coming is not inconsequential. And let's be clear, some people that are going to take a loss will never come back. They're just wiped out.
Yep. Well, I mean, that was the issue too. And one of the things that we preach a lot and tell people a lot when they're first investing is don't get over your skis. Like, don't be doing 3 projects at the same time. Do one. Like even us,
go slow.
Even us walk with caution. Even us, as big as we are, as long as we've been doing it, we only have 2 or 3 projects active at any one time.
Yeah, I wouldn't do more than 2 at this time.
That's it.
Significant lifts, I'll wait. The deals will be there. I've been doing this long enough to know that I don't have to wait, or I don't have to rush.
Well, that's the issue that we have coming too, I believe, is that people that are doing deals now, this is why markets fall, is because guys like Zoob and guys like me and guys like Dion we're waiting on the sidelines, just waiting to jump into the game, and we're playing chicken. We're figuring out which one of us is going to jump in the game first. Because Mike, is he happy with a 10% reduction? Maybe he wants 15. Maybe he wants 20. Yeah. And the issue is, does it get to 20? And if it does it then plateau, or does it, pass past that? Yeah. The cool thing is that as well as Mike knows Fresno, he's going to have the option to go from 185 or 187 to 300 or 350.
It could happen.
if you want to. If you
Yep.
want to.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
those
what
deals-
2025 is going to be. Is all of that, and this may roll into 2026 as well. But I'm only talking
has to.
2025. Yeah, I think so. Just timing and
It just has to.
elasticity.
Exactly.
And real estate moves so much slower than most people think.
Have you thought about that yet? Those assets.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And do we have an
I'm
answer?
I'm talking to bankers, and I'm building that Rolodex up again. They have all these files of extend and pretend. It's real. Class B and Class C are simply not trading. But they're all telling me that at some point they have to have price discovery, and it won't be pretty. Yeah. It's just, they just don't know when.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know what Mike's talking about, what he's talking about is I think it's rule number 5,
something
network.
Like that, yeah.
So network is your net worth. What he's doing now is he's reaching out to all these banks and saying, hi, remember me? I'm the one that pays all my mortgages on time.
Yep.
And
or I bought from you last time. Yep.
Exactly. And hey, we did this back in 09 and 10 and 11. It worked out pretty well for you.
Yep. Still own the property, by the way.
Yep.
Oh, by the way. Right. Yeah.
Still own them. You're getting a great performing asset. It's on time every month. You never hear from me, which is your favorite kind of customer, Mr. Banker. Yep. All I'd ask is that you just let me know when you guys start having those assets that you need to find the right operator for.
Yeah. And they're, and to the person, right off the record, they're all telling me that they have files, their owners they're watching.
Yeah.
And you know, most of them have got a year extension. Most of that's already coming up on a year. And you know, they may extend again. I mean, that's the thing that's becoming very clear to me is it's very likely not going to repeat the calamity of last time.
It's not.
But there will certainly be very selective people taken out. So it'll be sniper shots versus, you know, a big machine gun or something. So yeah, you're going to have to be nimble, but I'm absolutely putting in the legwork already.
The mindset changed. The mindset changed when the banks saw what they went through.
Yeah,
they were just like,
do that again.
Yeah. They were just like, you know what? Too bad. Those are the rules. We're going to get them. And I'm not saying that that's wrong. I think that when somebody doesn't live up to their end of the contract, then by all means, it's at your discretion of what you decide to do there. The banks were very aggressive in trying to get a bunch of those places and properties back because they're like, hey, we got to get it back. And then they were like, oh shit.
Now we got them.
Yeah. Now we have it back. Now we're having to pay the taxes. We're having to pay the fees.
We're getting fined. We're getting fined by the code enforcement.
Yep. We're getting nailed by that stuff. And then they're like, oh, and even worse, I got $1 billion that I got to write off this month. Yeah. And bad news, I've actually got only 300 million that I can write off this month. So I have to slowly let these properties out. That's why for some people that didn't understand why stuff would be vacant for 3 years. That was why they were looking at their highest, worst priority stuff and handling that stuff first and then letting the rest of the stuff trickle through their system. Yeah. That's what will happen. So in this case, where you've made that contact, you have that conversation, they're going to call you up and go, hey, listen, we can do these terms on this asset. And then you're going to say no.
Probably.
Because I know you. And then you're going to say,
congrats for the first offer. So that's where you're anchored. Now I got to pull you down. Yes,
exactly. Now come back to me with a different offer. I actually got a bank to come back to me a third time and I'd never given them a number.
Wow.
I was just like,
similar. Yeah.
Yeah. And what we do is we tell them, we're just like, guys, that can't be where you're starting.
Yeah.
That can't be.
So you want another owner to fail? Is that what we're talking about here?
Exactly. Guys, at the end of the day, we know how to succeed at this, but we have to be your partner in this and know that you recognize the cost of doing business. And what you're saying based on your offer is that you don't understand the cost of by doing this business.
Yeah. Folks, at the end of the day, we've hit both sides, why it is a horrible time and why it is a genius time. Let us know in the comments below. What do you think? Great time, bad time? Matt, where can they find you?
Lumberjack Landlord, Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern time on the YouTube.
There you go. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you.